Okay, so let's go over today's trade recap. The only one trade I ended up taking, which ended up being a win. And yeah, let's go over my thought process and whatnot. So for today, I had bearish bias overall, and on pretty much every single asset. But mostly on YM and RTY. So there's like S&P like this, by the way, on the weekly. Uh, like slightly. I mean, so with this candle high, right? It's like this. I think February 9th. Yep. So it's with this candle. I guess not swing point. So I did it's with this, but so there's SMT there. So like, again, so this asset is NQ and ES are probably gonna close as a C2 kind of close. Okay, so I'm not expecting today to expand lower necessarily, especially like looking at the framework. I will see. So this asset had a little bit smaller wick as well. So I was willing to trade pretty much YM, RTY, and perhaps ES, depending on how it developed. Because at the time, I logged in on started watching the charts, we still hadn't taken previous low. I still went to trade towards that. And overall, if you feel to manipulate this low, probably these, and with the right context though. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's PSP here, where there's no strength switch between these, but I still took RTY. So I had these draws in mind for YM. Just like did we leave? No, okay, like we did sweep it, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Probably not gonna be able to go for these on this behind session. But yeah. So RTY same draw, but I took profit here actually. See where it's for swing. Alright, so on ES and Q again, still pretty much just previous this low. So we can drop the lower time from here. If my Aaron loads this even. Okay. So now it did load. Alright. So we had didn't have SMT fail, we had equal highs here. So that's why I didn't want to short NQ there. Even though we failed to manipulate this low, it's pretty sus. The weekly doesn't super expansion low. We left equal highs, so yeah. But on YM, for example, here, it is very obvious gap. New day opening gap here that we did respect, right? So I really like this, and I forgot to drop the hourly, which usually don't do that, but so it's a very obvious even here hourly gap, right? Even these two gaps, right? Very obvious zone, key lever from which we should go lower. Okay, so first we literally open high first. I mean, actually open low, but putting an irrelevant low. Then we go higher, displace away from this high, or from the high to that. And we failed to manipulate these lows. So here I was looking at the hourly chart. I was like, okay, sorry, there's like no hourly swing point. Like this is the last swing point we have. So I was like, okay, I need a 30-minute swing point here if I want to trade. It's like, I don't know, like if you want to, like, there's like this is the year. I think that happened like in QDS. But it just doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you know, it's like there's no swing point. So what we form here is a 30-minute gap. Right. There was actually at the start SMT fill here, but again, I kind of didn't care about this. And I'll go over why I took RTY actually. And so this is that 4-hour low right here that I was targeting, where I had my TP, and why I didn't short YM. Although it was probably like you could definitely do it. So yeah, we retrace inside of this gap at open, right? Not to be expected. Very likely that we do this. And then CSD on YM. So when I see the CSD on YM, the problem is that NQ and ES at the same time. Right here, this is open right here. 1030 candle. Let's go over ES. You can see, so we had SMT on the like SMT full, so it's with the ES. ES does still keep it, I think. I think this is the 30-minute gap. Let's see. Yep. So we eventually break it, but yep. So we still have this SMT fill. And so if I want to trade YM, I'm gonna have to wait for these assets. Like personally, that's how I trade. I pretty much wait for every asset to be aligned. Although you can't trade YM to be the weakest here. Like YM is the weakest, it's likely to hit these lows, and NQ is the strongest. Even though again, in this moment in time, it was displacing away from relatively equal lows. We're probably gonna hit these, but again, so I'll probably want to see NQ CSD or give an inversion, or also yes, CSD is lower, and like to confirm that that this is like this SMT fill should hold, this high should hold, and every asset is aligned. I personally I require every asset to be aligned here within the trade if I want to trade this asset, which is the weakest. Even though actually it's yeah, so like per year, so secondly it's the weakest on the R time frame, so it's way more likely that it fills. That's also like you can't get too over this. So instead of doing that, I just decide to like trade RTY because they have there's a very similar drone liquidity, and if YM is gonna expand lower right here, right? Again, I don't want to be part of a decoupled move where YM expands lower, NQ is likely to expand higher because like we have equal highs, right? Like we started reversing here. Like as soon as I saw this scan, I was like, okay, this is pretty strong. Like we just broke the SMT here. Like this is not really reversing where you can see it's just consolidating here. Not like it's not like our reversal swing should go lower. We did re-sweep these lows, but then yeah. So instead of waiting for these houses to resync, because like this house might have never like gone past this current low today. Right. Same thing with ES, right? You can see it doesn't even it's not able to close through that. So either way. So that's why I trade RTY. It's just because I had way more confidence when I was gonna hit this. It just made sense that RTY is like literally not gonna give a fuck about like NQ and ES. Right. And for RTY to hit this low, by the way, it's very important. Like for RTY to hit this low, it doesn't require YM to necessarily expand. But YM can just consolidate here, and RTY can just be the weakest between the diet, right? That's why that's like the logic behind taking it on RTY. So I just like put like we get the CSD here, right? Aligned with this asset. Oh, this asset already hit. As you can see, when this asset hit, when RTY CSDs, I'm already hit the lowest point of the day. I'm just assuming like this is the manipulation to go lower. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm just assuming this is the retracement, like quote unquote manipulation to go lower towards these lows. So yeah, so I took this. I require 2R with this 4-hour swing instead of entering market. Have my stop at the highs because like it's pretty relevant wick. I would say I don't want to use the bodies here necessarily. Even here, I wouldn't use the bodies. It's probably fine, right? Especially if you enter market, you can, like I'll go breaking early. Like if I was using bodies here, I'll go breaking it as we hit this. By the way, you can get to work with that. So this is that again. So I took this, and yeah, like we started chopping around here. It took a little bit to hit. Even this, you can see. So yeah, so as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, we're very likely to hit this daily low just because like we're so close to it, but like we're probably gonna displace afterwards. Like have have some sort of trade, at least a retracement, right? I'm not saying we're full on reversal off of these lows because the day doesn't support it, but we're definitely gonna have like a retracement, probably even a deeper retracement to form a new hourly wick here somewhere. Either is like deeper retracement, hourly C2, right? Yeah, so I definitely wanted to get out here, right? Yeah. So I mean that's a very simple trade. Like again, I don't require SMT to trade. That's like so flexible here. There's like no SMT fail. I don't care about that. As long as I'm very confident about your drone liquidity, I can just like take these type of trades. But yeah, actually there's a PSP, but like it's like this candle's close. Or was it? It's like this candle. Like I have this like whatever. I mean it's also 30-minute. This 30-minute, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not relevant, but yeah. Alright. So I mean these are the execution. Wait, hold on. I had to really relog in, but yeah, these are the execution. So there's just above this OB to get to R. And that's a close. And now we're just consolidating, or I just logged off after that win. And I mean, yeah, that's gonna be it.